Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite girl Favor here. If today is your first time of coming across my YouTube channel, thank you so much for stopping by. On this YouTube channel, we learn how to turn void materials into a beautiful piece. So for today, we are going to be learning how to cut and sew this beautiful mini kaftan dress you're seeing me wearing here. Now this is quite unique because it has a zipper at the back. If this sounds like something that you're interested in, without wasting much of your time, let's head to the tutorial proper. So my loves, for today's tutorial, this fabric you're seeing right here is what we are going to be working with today, and I have this fabric to be 2 yards. This is an African print, so if you're on a bigger size, I'm a size 10. So if you're a bit bigger than I am, or if you're in a bigger side, I'd recommend you use 3 yards. All right, so I'll keep this aside. Now this is a cloth that I already have, a fabric that I have. This is not crepe either, and this is it looks like a linen kind of. So I have this, and I have this to be half yard. So I would recommend you use crepe because this is what I have and this is what I made you do with. So you can use crepe for yours if you have a crepe material. All right, so I will go ahead and then keep this aside as well. Like I said before, I didn't have a crepe fabric. That is why I settled for this particular one. So if you have a crepe, please do what to make use of crepe if you don't have any other one. All right, and we're going to be making use of this zipper. Now this mini kaftan is actually, this is a kaftan bubu dress. It's very unique because it's going to be having a zipper attached to it. So I'll keep this aside, then we'll go straight to folding of our fabric. Now guys, I've gone ahead to fold this fabric and I folded it into two. We are going to be cutting the front pattern first. All right, so after placing it, now the next thing we are going to go ahead and do is to get our 1/2 inches, which is where we're going to be starting all our measurements from. So I will go ahead and rule it out like this, and then we'll just head straight to getting our basic bodies proper. Now for you to know how to fold for your measurements, I would recommend you first of all get your shoulder divided by 2 and then you mark, which is 8 for me. Now for you to know how the wideness of how you're supposed to fold your fabric, when you've marked down your 8 inches or your 9 inches or whichever shoulder measurement you're working with, then you go ahead and get your sleeve length, because this is a cut together a gown. So when you get your sleeve length, if you get your sleeve length, automatically this is going to be enough for you. And you want to also correspond to check if your hip and your sleeve length is equal, or if it's going to serve for your hip. All right, so with that being said, so from here now we're going to go ahead and mark 8 inches, which is my shoulder divided by 2. Then from here, the length of my sleeve, because this is a cut together sleeve, we're going to be making use of 9 inches. I'll mark the 9 inches at this point here. Now the next thing we're going to do right now is to go ahead and get our neck depth. So from here, I will come down by 3 inches, which is going to be serving as our neck depth for now. I'll connect it here. Now the neck wideness we are going to be working with, we're going to be working with 3.5 inches. I will mark the 3 inches here, sorry. So let me turn my tape to this place so that you can see where I'm marking. I'll mark 3 inches and then I'll go ahead and connect it to that neck depth like this. Now down to this our sleeve length, I will come to this point here. I will mark 1 inch for our shoulder slope. I will go ahead and connect it to meet that our half measurement of our shoulder like so. All right, so after getting it, we'll go ahead now and mark our vertical basic bodies. All right, so after so from this our shoulder point here, I will come down by 10 inches, which is my breast point. I will mark it, still maintaining my tape from my shoulder. I will come down by 15 inches, which is my waist measurement. I will mark. Now after marking it, we'll go ahead and connect these lines first, just the way I'm connecting it. So please go ahead and connect yours. So after connecting the line from that waistline, I will come down by 8 inches, which is going to be my hip point. So yours can be 9 inches. I am not too tall, so my hip point is 8 inches. I will mark and then I'll connect the line like so. Now after connecting the line, we'll go ahead and get our gown length. So the length of my gown we're working with today is going to be 38 inches. I will make use of 38 inches. I will mark it down here. So if you want yours to be shorter, you can make use of 36 inches, 32 inches, depending on where you want it to be. So we'll go ahead and connect it. Now after connecting it, we'll go ahead and label it. This is our full length. Here is our hips, and then at this point is our waistline, and then this is our breast point. All right, now that I've gotten it, we'll go ahead and put our body measurements. So from this place that we came down by 1 inch for our shoulder slope, I'll go ahead and mark the wideness of my sleeve, which is 8 inches. I will mark it down here. All right, and then I will go ahead and connect it from that point to meet the shoulder. Then from here, I will go ahead and mark our round bust divided by 4. So first of all, we divide our tape, we divide our measurements. My round bust is 36. I will divide it first. We have divided it into 2, and then from that point here, we'll now divide it again, making it into 4. So this is how you divide with your tape. So my round bust is 9 inches. I will mark the 9 inches down here. Now from that 9 inches, I will go ahead and add extra 2 inches seaming allowance. All right, now at this point here, which is our waistline, I'll put my waistline divided by 4, which is 8 inches. I'll mark it down here. Now from that 8 inches, I will put extra 2 inches seaming allowance. I will mark. Now the next thing we're going to do is that from this our shoulder down, I will go ahead, from this our sleeve, I will just go ahead and curve it into that allowance that we added. So I'll curve it into our breast points here, and then I'll take it down to our waistline just like this. Can you see the way I'm connecting it? So this is a very freehand tutorial that we're doing today. Now we'll go ahead and get our hip points. My hip divided by 4 will give us 10 inches. I will go ahead and mark it down here at 10 inches at this point, and I will also add extra 2 inches sewing allowance. So I'll connect it. So what we're going to do, we're going to check the full length of what we have here. So we have 12 inches including the allowance. I will come to the full length and impute that 12 inches. Remember my hip is 10 plus 2, which was 12, so I marked that 12 on the full length. Now what we're going to do is that from here, I will go ahead, from our waistline, we'll go ahead now and just connect it to meet our hip. Then from that our hip line here, we'll now connect it to the full length. All right, so this is quite easy. You can see what we have here. Now that we have achieved this, the next thing we are going to do right now is to go ahead and cut out following the direction of my chalk. So I'll first of all cut out the neckline following the direction of our chalk. So please go ahead and cut yours as well. So guys, after cutting it through, now we use this front one to place on a fresh fabric to cut at the back. So guys, I've gone ahead now to place the front one on another fabric, which is what we are going to be cutting the back pattern from. So before cutting it out, I want us to take note that at this point here, I came in by 2 inches, which is going to be serving as our zipper allowance. Can you see? So I came in by 2 inches at this point. So we'll go ahead and relabel this so that we know where all the basic bodies we took started from. So after labeling it, we'll now go ahead and extend out all these lines. Now for the back pattern, I will still come out and mark my 3 inches for our neck width. I will mark it here. Then I will take down 1.5 inches, which is going to be serving as our back depth, neck depth. So I'll go ahead and just from this point and then connect it out to meet that 1.5 inch. So this is our back neckline like this. Okay, now at this point we are going to be doing a body contouring at the back part. For me, whenever I cut a gown or anytime I'm cutting a skirt or a gown, I love to put hip contouring because it helps my hip sit properly and is actually really nice for me to. It's always nice for you to always put hip contouring because our back is not straight. So from this our neck area will come out by 2 inches. Now at this our waistline here will come out by 1 inch. Can you see? Then down to this our hip point will also come out by 2 inches. just like this. And then whatever we have on the hip, we'll do the same thing on our full length. So I'll mark 2 inches. So the essence of this is to eliminate any zip bulginess at the back. That is what we are doing here. We are just trying to eliminate the zip bulginess, but I love to add hip contouring on my own. All right, so I will explain it again. At this point, the neck area, I took 2 inches. At that neck area, I took 2 inches. And then at this waistline, I took 1 inch. So I will still take 1 inch at this point, at that breast point. So from this our neck, I will go ahead and connect it to meet that our 1 inch that came out at the breast point and the waistline. Then connect it to the 2 inches at the hip and then the full length. So that is all for this. So the next thing we're going to do now is to go ahead and cut it out following the direction of our chalk. All right. So after cutting it out, we're going to go ahead and separate the front pattern from the back pattern. So I'll remove the pin. So what we're going to do right now is that we're going to go ahead and pick the front pattern and keep it aside so that we can work on our back pattern. Now for our back pattern, all we need to do is for this our neckline, we're going to go ahead and use bias to bias the neckline like this, and then at this zipper allowance we'll come here and close it up by 1 inch to the full length. So there's not going to be any slit opening at the back. Let me explain again. We'll run a bias here. After running the bias, then we'll go ahead and close it down with 1 inch. So I'll go ahead and close it and bring it back. So guys, I've gone ahead now to bias it, and this is what it looks like for the back neck area. This is what it looks like. All right, I also went ahead to iron it, stitch down the zipper allowance and iron it out. So the next thing we're going to do right now is to pick both the front pattern and the back and the front, good sides facing each other. After separating my pin, I'll go ahead and put it down, the right side facing each other, and then we'll go ahead and pick the 2 shoulders. Remember, we divided it. So we'll go ahead and pick the 2 shoulders just like this, and then close it up. So you want to arrange it properly. All right, so we're going to go ahead and close it up by 1/2 inch. All right, so let me just quickly use chalk to demonstrate it. So at this point, we'll use 1 inch and 1/2 inch to close it following the direction of my chalk. So I will close this other side, and then I will also close this other side and bring it back. So guys, I've gone ahead to join the shoulder, and this is what it looks like. Can you see? And I also went ahead to iron it open. So the next thing we're going to do right now is to go ahead and arrange this properly. We'll pick the 2 shoulders like the 2 sleeve like this. Did you see what I did? Pin it together like this. You want to make sure that that shoulder that we joined is at the same point. Can you see? You want to make sure we're trying to get the midpoint. So when we get the midpoint of the 2 pattern, the 2 fabric, we'll join it together like this and arrange it down properly. So guys, I've gone ahead to arrange it now, and this is what we have. So you can see the way it is. Now the next thing we are going to do is to go ahead and get the slit opening at the front. All right, so I will come from this point. You see the way I arrange it. We're going to go ahead, starting from this our neck area here. From this point here, we're going to go ahead and just open it up like this. So I'll go ahead and open it to the full length, just the way we achieve our bubu, the design that usually be at the front of our bubu. So guys, after cutting it, this is what we have. So you can see that it now looks like a bubu. We are arriving at the design of bubu. So I also arrange this down properly. So this is what we are supposed to be getting at this point. Can you see what we have here? So after arranging it, now go ahead and keep it aside so that we'll work on the design at the front. Okay, so this is the slit that we opened at the front, and I have the wideness to be 3 inches. So we're going to use these 3 inches to cut our band. Now this is the fabric we're going to be using to cut our band. I have this to be 3 inches, so I'll keep this aside and then bring out our gown. Now what we are going to do is that we're going to take the round circumference of our gown, but before that we are going to be opening up this our zipper allowance. All right, so remember that this band is going to start from the zipper allowance all the way from the zipper to the full length. So we're going to go ahead and get the round circumference starting from this beginning here all the way. We'll go ahead and get the round circumference of the gown, including the zipper allowance. I hope we understand. So we'll also get the zipper allowance. Check to the zipper allowance at this point to this point. So from that beginning to the zipper allowance give us 44 inches, and it's this that same 44 inches that we have for the other one. Please remember that you are taking your round circumference from your zipper allowance to the full length of your gown. So after getting it now, we have it to be 44. So I will go ahead and use it to cut out on this one and bring it back. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut out the band that is going to be at the front, and I as well ironed it properly. Now the wideness of this band is the same one that we have at this one. So we have this to be 3 inches, and it's exactly that 3 inches that I use in cutting the design that is going to be at the front. Can you see? So this is on fold. The 3 inches is on fold. That means what we are going to be having is 6 inches when we open it up. I hope we understand. Now I joined it at this middle. Now I want us to pay attention to this area, that when you are sewing your own, you want to make sure your joining is going to be equal. When you join it at the shoulder, I want to make sure that this joining here is going to start from the zipper allowance area. I hope we understand. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pick it together. Pick the two, join it together like this. You can see that I ironed it out and I gave it a ghetto line at the center. Can you see? Now with the help of this ghetto line, we'll be able to identify where we are going to be choking down. Now if you look at the clothes we are trying to recreate, it's not possible for that neck area to pass your head if there's no zipper allowance on it. I hope we know. So that is the essence of the zipper allowance we are adding. So from this point, I will come down by 11 inches. From that point of our joining here where my hand is, I will come down by 11 inches. Now from this 11 inches here, I will now arrange it properly again. Just arrange your band just the way I'm arranging it. You can see that this band is opened up. Now we're going to go ahead and place our tape again from that beginning, not at 11 inches. You can still see the 11 inches there. Now from the beginning, we're going to mark 14 inches. Remember the length of our gown is 38 inches, but I marked 40 inches. We can cut out the excess. Now from that 11 inches that we marked now, we'll come down to the full length of our gown where the band is. Then we'll count up to 8 inches. Now if you want your slit to be not to be too open like mine, you can do 6 inches. Remember, you can see where my tape is. My tape is at that 11 inches that we first came down from. Then from that 11 inches I came down by 22 inches. Let's just put it that way. But I later changed my mind, and then I came up from the full length of that 40 that we marked, which is the full length of the band. I came up by 8 inches. So by the time I folded it, it's going to stop at 7 inches or 6 inches. So if you don't want yours to be open like mine, you can go ahead and do 4 inches. Now from that 11 inches that we came down from, we're going to go ahead and stitch it by half and just stitch them following the direction of our chalk. From here to this point, I'll bring it back. So guys, I've gone ahead now to stitch on our band, and this is what it looks like. So don't worry, by the time you stitch at the middle of the band like this, when you stitch at this middle and you open it, it will automatically form this way. When you sew at that point, it will be automatically formed this way. So do not worry how to achieve this. All right, so I sewed it off from that 11 inches that we came down from and sewed it to that 22 inches. Can you see? So this is what it looks like. So by the time you stitch there, and then it's going to automatically close up by the time you do it this way. All right, so the next thing we are going to do right now is to go ahead and iron this down. But I ironed this down first. Then we're going to go ahead and bring our gown. So when we bring our gown, we're going to go ahead and close it up by 1 inch. We're going to go ahead and close up the clothes. I will go ahead and arrange it border to border. That is, join the two sleeves. But before we close it up, we'll come to the sleeve here. and close it up by 1/2 inch. After closing up the sleeve, you will go ahead and arrange it properly. Now you're going to be closing this gown with your body measurements. Please take note. So I'll go ahead and take it to the sewing machine, close it with my body measurement and bring it back. So guys, I've gone ahead now to close it up, and this is what we have. I used my body measurement to close it up. Now the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to open up the hand like this and then give it a notch at that place where we had our bubu curve. The essence of this is to help it relax properly by the time you iron on it. So I will go ahead and do the same thing for this other side, and then just give it a notch at that point, so that by the time we iron it, can you see I've not ironed it, but by the time you iron it, it's going to balance up properly. Now the next thing we're going to do right now is that I also went ahead to stitch up our zipper allowance just by 1/4 inch, not even up to 1 inch. I just closed it up a little by 1/2 inch. All right, that is to enable us attach our band. Now we're going to pick up the two shoulders, place it together. So by the time you place it together like this, when you place your two shoulders together, that zipper allowance automatically will be the middle of your gown. Now we'll pick up the gown, the right side facing each other, the right side of the band and the right side of the gown. Can you see the way I arrange it? Can you see it? Now we'll pick up our gown, and make sure that the joining we have on the band and the joining for our zipper is going to be starting at the same point. I hope we understand. So we're going to open up our zipper point here and then join the joining we had at the band. Can you see what it looks like? So join it, the right side facing each other, and then you want to make sure you pin it down. Now when you pin it down, it's going to help not to move away when you start sewing on it. So go ahead and pin it down. Now after pinning it down, we're not going to be taking it and sew it by 1/2 inch. Now at the point I realized that there was not really necessarily doing a bias turning at this neck, so I'd recommend you don't do a bias turning on your own. So we're going to take the band. Can you see the way I'm placing it? On the right side of the fabric, right side of the band and right side of the fabric facing each other. So I'll go and stitch it and bring it back. So guys, I've gone ahead now to stitch the band. Can you see what it looks like? So this is really easy to achieve. So you can actually add a pocket to yours. I didn't add a pocket to mine because I was truly rushing this tutorial. So you can see what this point looks like. Can you see? And then this is what the downside looks like. So we're going to go ahead now and cut out the excess on this fabric. We're going to go ahead and cut out the excess. So go ahead and just cut it out. So please remember to achieve your band. When you are taking the round circumference, you will take the round circumference of your zipper inclusive for you to be able to attach it from your zipper down to the full length here. So the next thing we're going to do right now is to go ahead and fold this base area with 1/2 inch or 1 inch, depending on how wide you want it to be. So you pick it from this point, close it up first like this, and then close it up again. That is it. So I'll go ahead and turn it in out for us to see what the inside looks like. Okay, so this is what the inside of the clothes looks like, our gown looks like. So the only thing you would want to do here is to weave this area where we attached our band. Can you see? You want to make sure you weave this area so that it won't be fraying. Now the next thing we're going to do is to go ahead and attach our zipper. Now we're going to come to this point here. Remember when we were joining this band to the gown, I said we should make sure that the joining of our zipper and the joining of our band is equal, is in the same point, is at the same point. So we're going to go ahead now and open up the zipper allowance, including that joining that we had at the band, the neck of the band at this point. We're also going to go ahead and open it up, okay? So guys, I've gone ahead now to open up both the band and the zipper allowance, and this is what it looks like. So by the time you add a zipper to your own, you can easily wear it. Now when you're opening up your zipper, you want to make sure you open up to your hip point area so that you won't find it difficult wearing it up. So you see the essence of joining the band. So when you open up that band area that you joined at first, it will automatically fold in this way. so there's no need of you worrying if it's going to be neat or not. So can you see what it looks like? So the next thing we are going to do right now is to go ahead and attach our zipper following the direction of that zipper allowance that we had. So put the zipper from this point to this point, or anywhere you want your zipper to stop. So I will go ahead, start my zipper from the band so you can see what it looks like. So go ahead and put it to wherever you want your zipper to stop, but I advise you put it from your hip area. So guys, I've gone ahead now to attach our band and our zipper, and this is what it looks like. So you can see that at this point here, I also went ahead to hem the base by 1/2 inch, and this is what it looks like. This is actually beautiful, I won't even lie. All right, so guys, if you have watched this tutorial to this point, please do not forget to click on the subscribe button. If you're yet to subscribe, be cool, do not forget to subscribe. And this is what it looks like. So with the help of this zip, we can actually now wear this kaftan, this our beautiful kaftan bubu, with ease. So given the fact that we came down, the neck area is not wide enough, there's no magic that will make this cloth pass our neck from this point. Can you see the way it is? But with the help of the zip, we can easily wear it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to click on the subscribe button if you're yet to subscribe. Do not forget to like and share, and please do not forget to go green. Please do not forget to go green. Please do not forget to share this video so that it will get to someone who might find it very interesting. Thank you so much for watching. See you on our next tutorial.